Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to be taking every single order on the earn by time paying mode until I receive a no tip offer. And when I do receive a no tip offer, the video is going to abruptly end. And at that point, I will begin to cry, but luckily the video will have ended already, so you won't see that. Now, the thing about earn by time that makes this interesting is I have no idea how much the orders are going to pay and how much the tip is until after I complete the delivery. So there's a little bit of suspense. Basically, this video could be 2 minutes long, and it could also be 20 minutes long. Really, anything's possible.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat.
Alright guys, I got my very first offer. I'm not feeling hopeful about this. Not discriminating, I'm just stating the fact that this is going to the lowest income part of my town. Generally, you don't really see a lot of good orders going there, so I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And it's McDonald's. Alright guys, moment of truth. Let's see, very first order. $5 tip, let's go. We can keep going. So my first order might have really surprised me, but this one is a little different. This one I'm actually a little bit more scared for. So here's the order. I just drove by McDonald's and I noticed there is an order ready. I don't know if it's mine. If it is, not good news. Secondly, it's an apartment and their instructions are in all caps. Last unit, top floor, door on right. It is the very last unit. And then they repeated the unit with an exclamation mark. This person sounds hurt. They sound like they've had really bad experiences with DoorDash drivers, which may or may not have led them to no longer tip their Dashers. Maybe they've had some experiences of Dashers leaving the order at the wrong door, or maybe they just have daddy issues. I'm not really sure. Oh no, and it's like no food. Hash browns, 2 hash browns, 2 sausage McMuffins. All right, let's get in there. I was wrong once again, receiving a $2 tip. It is also worth noting that a tip is a tip even if it is a low tip. So I will be dashing until I actually receive $0.00. That wasn't a bad order either. Okay, here is my next offer. Not super happy about the mileage, but this place usually gives me pretty good orders. I hope it does today as well. All right guys, moment of truth, $3 tip, I'll take it. I'm also going to keep a tally in the corner of the screen to remind you how many orders I've consecutively completed that have a tip. This should keep things easier to track. Okay guys, just grabbed my very next order. It's this McDonald's right here. I guess I'm not actually as good at predicting tips as I thought because I would have figured that I would have delivered a no tip order by now, but I have not. So this order right here, instructions with no please, no thank you. Now that's not a big deal, I don't care. I'm just saying I feel like that's a higher chance of having no tip, a more demanding customer. I don't know. At this point, I'm shooting in the dark. There's only one real way to find out, and that's to deliver the order. I feel like there's a tip on this order. I definitely am confident in this one, if any at all. Yeah, $3 tip, let's go. Just to make this very clear, it's not that the earn by time pay mode might give you lower tips, it does give you lower tips. DoorDash blatantly tells you this. It's right there in the fine print. So to have went this far already and making this good of money is surprising. Boom, boom, bang, boom, ooh, dodge, ooh. I'm fighting Matt from boxing, from the Wii, motherfucker. I ain't scared of anything. I don't care if this order has a fucking water cup on it. I know I'm getting a tip. I'm getting that confidence up. I am manifesting it. Very small amount of food. I'm gonna go pick it up and collect my tip. I'm freaking unstoppable. Yeah! I'm gonna end this shift today as a rich motherfucker. Next order, guys, is gonna be the Subway right here. The only issue is, look at this shit. A 6-pack cookie box is 0 calories. I feel like that's not true. It would have to compose of 95% celery and carrots. That would be the most disgusting cookie ever. $2 tip. $2 tip. We've officially reached the hardest part of the shift, which is going to be a stack offer. I received both of these DoorDash offers. The scary part about the stack is, my highest form of education is high school, so my math isn't great, but I do believe that doing 2 orders doubles the chance of me not getting a tip. So again, that's about as far as I can really go in terms of math. Like if you asked me what y was in the context of y equals mx plus b, I would have no fucking clue. So I'm kind of scared. Unfortunately, while this was a stack offer, my boy Lucas got the shit end of the stick when Tim Hortons ice cap machine was no longer working, and that's the only thing he wanted. I think my brother will be alright without the 62 grams of added sugar to start his day. However, as I have no way to see if a customer tipped on canceled orders or not, they do not count. And the other order on this stack tipped me $3.
2 hours later.
Alright guys, next order at McDonald's. It's apparently hailing now. Now, is there a tip on this order? I believe I've delivered to this customer before and there was. They wouldn't tip one time and then not tip another time, would they? That's fucked up. Boom, $2.50. At this point, I felt like a beast. Maybe even Mr. Beast. I was the luckiest man alive. Doing earn by time on DoorDash and receiving tips every single time was more rare than digging in your backyard and finding a dinosaur fossil. I completed several more deliveries before it got dark, and to my surprise, every order tipped. There were some close calls, but as I said in the beginning, at least it's something. This is crazy. There's a Dasher right there. Ah, I know that's a Dasher. I know it. He's holding that Starbucks bag.
2 hours later.
I'm gonna keep it 100. My time management skills today could have been a little better. I've done 16 orders in a row. Now, I'm glad I'm getting tips on every order, don't get me wrong. So I did just grab my first order back, which is this KFC. This order was the second order to get canceled in a single day. It is so annoying when other drivers accept deliveries and unassign them to get free food. You are screwing 4 different parties at once. The customer, the legitimate driver, the merchant, and DoorDash themselves. Man, it's annoying. But that's what happens when DoorDash will hire anybody. Also, now is probably a good time for me to give my opinion on tipping before I get comments from people misunderstanding my point of view from this video. You might assume I'm the type of guy to go on Reddit and say,
"No tip, no trip. If you don't tip me, you should f yourself. Not before you suffer the consequences of not tipping by eating your cold and soggy food, bitch."
It just says, it says 0. It says that you left nothing. I didn't do. Can I have my food? Yeah, go get it.
I do not associate with this way of thinking. In fact, I strongly dislike tipping culture. DoorDash pays drivers just $2 per order, but customers do not know this. I imagine when customers pay over $15 in upcharges, they likely think that we are getting more than $2. It is also not the customer's responsibility to pay our wages. They do, but it's not their responsibility. And in some cases, there's no way that they reasonably can. Like, even if the customers tip well, DoorDash does them no favors to get their order delivered. Let me explain a specific example as to what I mean. This order right here is an example of a no-tip offer that I've seen before. DoorDash is offering payment of $2 for an 11-mile delivery, which, yes, I understand is about as low as orders get, but I'm using this extreme to prove my point. First, to figure out how much of a tip would be necessary to make this order generally accepted as good, let's estimate how long this order would take to complete. Let's assume I get to the restaurant and wait 5 minutes before picking up the food. From there, the customer is a 22-minute drive away from the restaurant, so I would be driving for a while, possibly bumping it to my new favorite rapper Ben Shapiro. Let's say this order takes 2 minutes to deliver, and since the delivery location is out of my zone and not really close to more restaurants, I'd normally just drive back to the store I picked up the order from, which is an additional 22 minutes. This is a total of 51 minutes and 22 miles of driving on my own car for $2 even. Let's deduct the cost of gas, which for a car like mine that gets 30 miles per gallon at a price of $3 per gallon would cost $2.20. So this order payout is now looking like negative 20 cents for nearly an hour. How much would this customer have to tip for this to be a profitable order? I would say quite a bit. But to be fair to the customer, let's look at the average reported DoorDash hourly wage in Ohio, which is $19.09. So to just meet these same standards of average, this customer would have to tip $15 to $20 on this order for this to be considered average. Not a good order, just average. Is that fair to expect somebody to tip that much on an order on top of the fees? Of course not. This would be an insane expectation, especially if they only ordered food for themselves. In no universe should a $15 tip be considered the minimum. So yeah, that's 100% on DoorDash, not the customer, for putting the customer in a position where they have to tip that much if they want their food delivered, at least in a timely manner. Yes, there's earn by time now, which would make this order better. Maybe the base pay would have been closer to $6 to $7, but my point still stands, is that is still a ridiculously low payout for nearly an hour's worth of work before expenses. As a Dasher, it is a complete waste of time to get mad at people who do not tip. I admit you could probably go back into old videos of mine to find clips of me complaining about tips. I no longer believe in that. It is a complete waste of time to feel that way. It's as simple as if DoorDash does not pay you enough to deliver it, then do not accept it. And while this is very obvious, but nobody seems to say it, to the customers that do tip, thank you. You are the reason we are able to do this. It's now the next day. Here's order number 22. Guys, should I go buy some lottery tickets? Now I have Chipotle right here, 5 miles. My next order was a Taco Bell going to an apartment complex, and it paid me. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh. I'm finally done!